sale. No, I have no idea what they cost. Last year I bought the Chinese 3-barrel hand cannon. That's in the other room. I'll sell it to you for cost. Here. Because one of the senior staff assistants here was going, Kevin, buy it or I will. These expansion has caused a difficulty in that rooms are at an absolute premium and got screwed up. We were supposed to have a third room for the talks, and instead we're giving docents. This is a docent. The difference between this and the panels we gave last year appears to be the number of chairs. Every time we gave a panel in this room, it was filled to overflowing. You are encouraged to take photographs. Go ahead. Okay, I apologize for not putting the damn sign up. We didn't make one. It's the only question that gets irritating to us because everybody asked it. Can I take pictures? Yeah, this isn't the art show. Which is okay. It means you're a well-trained, well-mannered group of attendees because they're still surreptitiously trying to take pictures. And there's a video of the armory from last year on Facebook, and it's funnier than hell because they're hiding. You know, it's like, if you want to know anything about these things, just ask me. And he's going along filming, and they can't get a decent picture because they're hiding the camera. It's like, take the damn camera out, you know, go ahead, I don't care. What do I care about? Follow the rules, don't touch anything. No liquids. No goddamn liquids, come on. And so they put me across from the water. Yeah. This tray here has been filled with cups a couple of times a day. I personally dislike, okay, there's an old Vietnam expression, don't break another guy's rice bowl. It's a Buddhist monk, the only thing they own, the closest thing they have to property is the bowl they beg with. So breaking another guy's rice bowl is basically taking away his means of livelihood. I don't do that. But I hate armchair experts who talk to people and don't know what the hell they're talking about, and the other people are hanging on every damn word and taking notes, and they're writers and stuff because basically they're riding our reputation. So I'd rather you didn't do that. But what we do like to do is present, okay, I'm tired of this horrible English, is present to you the items that we have. Docents are a museum curator showing a class or group of specimens. Most of our armor here has come from Gift International. They are the importer of all this stuff made in India. Much of it is extremely good. So much so that they're the suppliers for a number of dealers who didn't want to be sponsors of the armory, so I went to the manufacturer. You can find them online at an outfit called DPEEKA. It's 2 weeks, DEEPEEKA. And you'll see all this stuff. See some of the prices, that's your problem. But they gave us a Greek cuirass. Basically it's called musculatura, which I mispronounce horribly. It is a two-piece of armor. And you take it apart. Two people can get it on you. One person can put it on and it hurts your nose. Man. Because holding this and getting your pin back in is a job. So the Greeks could work brass, work metal. The musculatura, okay, the Greeks were the Greeks, what can I say? This could turn an edge, especially of a Bronze Age sword. The metal was not harder than the metal it's striking. The difference is in the alloy. Brass as compared to bronze. Brass looks better. They would also make this out of leather, which is basically wetted and formed, and then shaped, if you've never done leather work. takes it better. The Greek armor also came with this helm, which I'm not going to wear, but everybody has seen because this is where the guys in 700. I'm sorry. Well, they're doing a sequel, okay? Add it up, and they got a support crew there. 700. That was pretty fast. And it protects the face and the sides and the bridge of the nose. It doesn't quite fit me, so I'm not going to put it on. But it's formed metal. The next people to really do metal armor were the Romans. The Lorica segmentata is this. This is an advanced piece of it, but it's about 2,000 years old. It is the first flexible steel armor. The Romans could make steel. The actual steel in these plates was not very thick because they would heat iron plates in high carbon content, impregnate carbon into it, and it makes steel with a soft core. Some of the plates they also made were actually, it was iron armor, which deforms when it takes a hit. The deformation is good and bad. The good, it sucks up the energy of the strike. The bad, if you hit the right spot, you've screwed up his ability to move, damaged the joint. To go with the armor, they made a very advanced helmet. Beaver tail back end, which meant dropping objects would ricochet off it, not go into the spine. Cheek pieces to protect the side of the face, because a really bad wound is on the forehead and the side of the face, because it'll blind you. And when you're busy not being able to see, he's busy killing you. The shade is, what's the shade? Come on. And my little blue-eyed Roman here. As compared to
They sent a couple, but we got a lot of people getting in right now. So just if they can't get in here.
Spartacus.
Yeah, Nick walked a couple.
Those are UDT swim trunks. Son of a bitch can wear my swim trunks, you know. Given to me by SEAL Team 4. And I can't wear them. But the other armor that was used before the segmentata, the steel armor, was chainmail. And chainmail is made in multiple different types of styles of manufacture. You can have 3 primary and a secondary. The 3 primary are butted, which means you curve the metal and the pieces stick in the end. Riveted, which means you flatten the ends and literally riveted together. And welded. That's, wow, they're good. The secondary one is pierced, or if you will, stamped. And those are little discs. The purpose of that is the disc is very, very strong. You will not spread it with a point, but you won't hook them together either, so you have to use one of the other 3 to hold it all together. That's why I consider it a secondary manufacturing technique. You have to support it with one of the 3 primaries. This is armor from Ringlord. They sent us samples of everything. Where is it? That's titanium. I think that's like terminally neat. Doesn't weigh anything. That weighs a damn ton. No, it's not a bikini, but shit, I have enough here to make a bikini. These are just scrap pieces. And this is scale mail, which was one of the materials used by the Romans. And the reason it stands out in my mind is these are the people who supplied the scale mail that went into Thor's costume. Yeah, and it, you know, it's just cool. Here you will see riveted mail and welded mail. And this stuff, which is absolutely marvelously flexible. No, you can't touch What's this? Where's this from? This is modern chainmail. Shark suits. They make suits out of this stuff for divers, which means you sink like a damn stone. But when the sharky comes up and chews on you, he doesn't get through it. It still hurts like hell. I mean, it's eating you. It's just not getting a bite.
Or at least it's in here.
Yeah, these two butt heads are bleeding targets from zombie industries, and they're in here because I think they're repulsive. But the Romans used various forms of chainmail before the plate mail. I'm sorry, the plate armor. Plate armor is the wrong term to use for this. This is Lorica segmentata. And the reason is it's made out of all these pieces. Plate mail, plate armor is large pieces. And you have flexibility, but not as much. But then it's stronger. Why was this sufficient for the Romans? It's not as strong as heavy.
Munitions grade.
No, because they had that damn shield. That
And-
was their big thing.
And weren't
Shield.
most of their opponents Iron Age?
Yeah, there's a reason they won for like 1,000 years.
I would also say that it probably helps that it was still superior to regular chainmail. The scale might have been inferior, but heavier from practice. I am not the expert there.
No, I'm not an expert on it. I hate being called an expert. As soon as you start calling yourself an expert, you're going to meet the guy who knows it better than you do and feel like an ass. Yes, sir.
The other thing about this segmentata, although it is kind of complex, it's easy to build. And if you're outfitting an army, curving a bunch of plates versus, and I've had a Cuirass built for me, it takes a long time. It's complicated. They have to be fitted to work. You could turn out dozens and dozens and dozens of these in a hurry to outfit an army. So between the shield, the ease of manufacture, rapidly putting them out in the field, and they'll fit just about anybody.
Yeah, that specific design is designed to fit anyone.
Yes.
It'll fit me, fit him,
Will it fit me?
won't fit you. Yeah, but you won't be able to move. Yeah, I mean, I got a bucket that'll fit you too, Dave.
That's
Anybody know
that would
Jody-
constitute
Jody
catch
Lynn Nye?
to leg armor too.
The writer. You've seen her, petite woman, very good friend of mine. She loved the hell out of my body armor because I put the writer thing on. First year I wore it, I'm up in the green room and Jody comes in, I got the writer thing, I turn around, she just cracks up. Loves it. No, this is my real armor. Do you want your picture taken with it? Yeah, sure. So I took it off and put it on her. She looked like a clapper in the Liberty Bell. She's a woman wearing this thing made for me, you know, and well, this year her husband is talking to me, Bill Fawcett, and he's saying, you know, God, that armor's expensive. I can't find it. You know, it's $300 to $400. Hey, Bill. Yeah. You want a plate carrier, not the plates. Plate carrier is like $40-50 for what you want, and I made her another writer thing, so she has her own armor. But there are pictures of her. She used it on her website, her in my armor. And smiling, and it's quick, take the damn picture because I'm falling over in a second. Kevin, how do you wear this crap? You use too much. Especially when someone's trying to shoot you. But the other aspect of the role of the Lorica segmentata, the reason it got adopted so well, chainmail can't stop a point very well. Now, I'm not talking about a sword point. Though what a sword will do to chainmail is impact on it, and the sword hasn't penetrated. Remember the story about the shark chewing on your ass, and you get a big ass bruise? You can easily break a collarbone walloping somebody in armor with this. So to change that, you wear a very thick quilted coat under it. Anybody been to the Mediterranean in the summertime? Yeah,
Wearing the coat.
France,
Yeah.
and he wore his gambeson.
close enough. You're gonna melt. These were tough bastards. So that is also very labor intensive to make. Even the butted one, which is the simplest, very labor intensive. making the raw material requires you to draw wire. That's another step in manufacturing. Who the hell wants to add a step? This is all one piece. Now, he has missed one point. Easy to repair. Logistics win wars. The Romans were the masters of logistics. The helmet, when it evolved so that they could spin steel, what that means is they could make a form, put a disc of steel on it, spin the thing at high speed, and form it over it. The helmet's got bigger, more advanced. This is a spun steel helmet. The early iron ones that they used, they couldn't spin it, so you had to hammer shape it over it. More labor intensive, takes long. The Romans left an impression on everybody. I think the Chinese were impressed by the Romans. So some aspects of their mode of combat were adopted and hated. So it's kind of like you adopt it, you hate it, you know. The armor went away for the longest time. What came back was chainmail. It is less technologically advanced. It's more labor intensive, less technologically advanced to make. As long as you can draw wire, you can make chainmail. If you can draw wire, the chances are reasonable that you can butt weld chainmail, which is what 2 pieces welded. But you're a better smith than I am. So the chainmail comes back. That's chainmail Hubbard, full length, weighs 35 pounds. It came in a little wad inside the Roman armor in a big ass box. Why do I move this damn box? And I take out the armor and what is it? Oh shit, it's chainmail. So we had to put it on Iron Mike, our old wetsuit mannequin, because it'll tear one of these down. Wearing that, you're a better man than I am.
What does the segment title weigh in comparison?
Maybe 10 pounds. And that's with the helmet.
Wow.
You know, I've worn it. Trouble is, it's not mine. Most of these things I try to give back to the company so I don't have to pay you for them. And so I just put it on once. This is their particularly expensive set. This is stainless steel. This won't rust. The helmet is not stainless steel. There's already rust on it. That's actually the reason you can't touch stuff here. This room, it's don't bleed on my damn knives. The other room, it's don't damage the guns. Because somebody yesterday, I carried this in Afghanistan, flipped the feed cover over, slams it, hits it with his fist. He's got a telescopic sight on it. He was in the room for another 15, 20 seconds. You break our rules. I mean, who else's rules are you gonna break? We can actually build credentials. We never have. But yeah, you can damage this stuff fairly easily, which is weird because you're talking about armor. You know, but it's got to be pristine to go back. Now, armor goes away for the longest time. After the medieval era, when they come up with plate, and the only piece of plate we have is a helm, and you're completely encased with this stuff. Well, basically, you're the Renaissance, pre-Renaissance version of a tank. Crossbow comes along, they can punch around through this. Actually, the crossbow wasn't the weapon, it was a longbow. You can nail a guy to a horse. Literally. And he's part of the horse. And they're both really pissed, except one of them's dead. But they don't like that. The crossbow, worse still. You could zap a knight with it, kill him dead, and you're a peasant. And you just put a big ding in the tithe source for the church. So you use a crossbow, you're excommunicated. And then lastly, I mean, a schmuck can use a crossbow. The more powerful, the flatter shooting, the farther it'll go to a point. A heavier projectile will go further. So the longbow with a 34-inch projectile will haul ass blast out there like 400 meters. Chances are you won't hit anything at that range, but it will get there. They talked about the bows earlier. There were longbows tested from Mary Rose historical pieces with a pull of 150 pounds. That's what my crossbow pulls. And they also found human remains, and they were archers with malformed bones and so forth from doing that since childhood. Because you have to train with it since childhood, get really good with it. Crossbow is any old schmuck. Here, hold this. Then guns come along. What's bulletproof mean?
Means that
The-
they put
the
a
bullet
ding
can't
in the
penetrate
armor,
it.
and it proves that the bullet didn't pierce all the way through it.
Yeah. They shot armor with bullets, and it didn't go through, so it was proofed. And then the guy with his brand new, really expensive pseudo armor had a big frickin' dent in it. However, that also showed, can't shoot me, I got a bigger gun.
Closer.
Yeah. So, plate armor is disappearing. Portions of it remain. The big thing is the breastplate. The other is the helmet. And then as the Renaissance age evaporates, even that starts disappearing. By the 1800s, there almost aren't any helmets in the world. They're quite rare. Breastplate is, you're either Spanish in a parade, or it's a little gorget, a little plate that you wear, chain around your neck, which says basically, "Hi, I'm more important than you are," an NCO or something. So, by the American Civil War, armor is effectively non-existent. Now what do we got? We got bullets and we're poking holes in people. Armor won't work for that. They did make some types of armor, even as early as the Civil War, they had body armor. What was really amazing is that multiple layers of silk could actually stop bullets. A couple of dozen layers of silk. And what it is that the individual fibers are fairly strong, and there's thousands of them. So it's losing energy every time it breaks a fiber, and it has to get through all these layers. Then you have this little pesky thing we call blunt trauma. Remember what I said about hitting that guy with in the shoulders? That's blunt trauma. It didn't cut, but it just walloped the snot out of him. Civil War, you still got that. So basically, there is no armor. Into World War I, armor is, again, almost non-existent. Until some Frenchman lives after an artillery attack. And it's like, why do you live? He had his cooking pot on his head under his cap. His cap had this big flippin' dink in it. And he's at the hospital, I mean, he's bleeding. Why aren't you dead? Oh, cooking pot. I want 10,000 cooking pots for the troops. And that's how the helmet came about. Came back about. The British goes, we're not copying the damn French helmet. So they come up with the doughboy helmet, which has a broader rim. That's important. That's my grandfather's helmet, by the way. And what I said about don't touch shit. The aspect of the rim is it's rolled over, so it's nice and hard and fairly strong. The width of the brim is to deflect fragmentation, shell splinters from coming down on you. It saved many a life. By World War II, we have adopted the M1 steel helmet, which was the longest serving piece of armor in the United States. And it's just a steel pot. The one we don't have is a Fritz helmet, a Kevlar. I'll try and come up with one, which is modern armor. The other armor we're actually trying to get a set because Gift International is bringing it in is German machine gun armor. This was actually a set of plate armor the machine gunner wore. And I mean, chest piece and the whole thing. Because you can't go anywhere. And the gun's real important, which means he's supposed to work and we want to kill him dead. A lot. And all his friends. And their friends. So, that was, I honestly feel that's the last true plate armor. And I'm kind of wrong, because in the 1960s, there was this wonderful little petite woman. She was like 5'2", and gigantic police officers would come to DuPont to meet her, and they just gently want to shake her hands and thank her for inventing Kevlar, because they're not dead. This is one of the, I did not know this when I got it. This is one of the first 5,000 Kevlar vests. This is the earliest soft body armor. It's stained and all like that because I wore it forever. Remember what I told you about silk? Why does it work as armor? Bullet has to work so hard to bust the threads. Those threads are stronger than steel. We don't have the weapon here. What commonly available weapon will go through that, not a hand weapon?
Knife.
No. Blowgun dart. Oh yeah, I put this thing in front of a balloon and go, and a balloon pops, and they're going, what the hell? Turn it around, there's an 1.5 inch of dart sticking out of it. The drawback with this material is anything that can penetrate the weave. So the smaller the projectile, the easier it has going between the threads. It's not trying to break them. There's other drawbacks to it. One is the original formulation tended to deteriorate in a moist environment. How many people are sweating here right now? You're a moist environment. The human body is a horrible place to put certain things. Steel is one of them, which is why I recommend stainless steel carry guns, because they don't quite turn to a bucket of rust. The other is certain chemical materials break down. So they advanced the armor and have encased it in plastic. And they've gotten better at forming it, so it now has sides, and it can be wrapped around the person and protect the sides. That's soft body armor. The U.S. military went with a different kind of armor. In the 1950s, during the Korean War, they did careful examination, the ORO studies, and what they found was that many more soldiers are injured by fragmentation than by bullets. A fragment really is to whom it may concern. Please notice I did not say shrapnel. Anybody who wants to be a writer, never use the word. Shrapnel means something. It is a bunch of balls in a cannon shell that explodes and goes out like a shotgun. There is no shrapnel in any of those grenades. That's all fragmentation. If you want to be really fancy and British, it's splinters, which I like using sometimes. It confuses the hell out of me. So what do? They come up with the flak vest. Flak being a name for German anti-aircraft artillery. During World War II, they had plate armor in carriers that they gave to bomber crew, because you couldn't walk in the stuff. I mean, literally, you couldn't walk in it. So it can't go to the infantry. But the exploding shells driving the fragments into the body of the plane, you could protect the guy from that. In Vietnam, it was called chicken soup, and he gave it to helicopter people. The very last thing I bought before Desert Storm in the United States was that vest. I wore it for 3 days straight, and then I sat on it the rest of my tour. Landmines come up from the bottom. I was driving the truck, and it's an old Vietnam thing. You take off your chicken suit and sit on it. The flak vest. This is one of the later ones, 1984 style. Tended to be nylon. They've made them out of titanium. They've made them out of pressed, formed, hard nylon. They never got one that really stopped bullets. These vests will stop bullets, but not a certain level of bullet. what do I mean by levels? Body armor is rated by levels 1 to 5. 1 being basically like a 22, 2 being, I'll say, a 9mm, 3 shotgun slugs, 4 some rifle bullets, 5 damn near all rifle bullets. The 50 Browning in the other room, forget it. It's going through you and 3 other people. They came up with hard body armor. Originally it was in a chicken suit in Vietnam, and it was boron carbide. The hardest substance man can produce, which means it's not diamond, but we can make boron carbide. The drawback being it's friable. You smack it with a bullet, it shatters. It stopped the bullet, but it broke. You put another bullet there, it's going through. There is armor now in use in Iraq and Afghanistan. Bullet don't go through at all. Remember I talked about my armor suit? These are the plates. This is a raw plate. Formed armored steel, coated in fiberglass. Six rounds of .308 NATO from an M14 rifle at point blank range. That the gun was 4 feet away. No dents. This is level 5. This is as good as it gets that you can wear. This wraps around me. It has plates on the side, plate on the front, and it crushes Jody Lynn Nye.
Are you still gonna have impact damage with that?
Pardon me?
Are you still gonna have the impact, the blunt?
Yeah, except, you know, it's gonna smash into that. Look how hard I'm hitting myself, but I'm still talking to you. There's nothing more than a little burp in the sound. It's spreading the trauma over the entire side of the plate. I mean, it's not even affecting my breathing. Yeah, you shoot me with a rifle, it's gonna affect me, because I'm gonna fall over. That energy has to go somewhere. You don't get something for nothing. First off, it'll stop us. Holy shit, does this stuff get hot when you bust it with a rifle bullet. We had a plate, the company asked for it back, of this material that had been shot with AK-47 armor-piercing incendiary ammo. It proved it could take heat. Yes, we had it for the show, they asked for it back. And it was pretty cool. Other armors, this is another form of police armor. It's a different kind. It turned out to be sensitive to moisture. So this really isn't seen very much. That's how I got a brand new vest here. It's like, you want this? Yeah. I'm put it in my display as cop suit. Pardon me?
Is it a laminate or something?
No, it's a soft Kevlar. I'm really not going to go into what kind it is because the company gets mad if I say your stuff is crap. Dragon skin. Anybody hear of dragon skin?
Yep.
Super duper yippee yay armor.
And then the disc.
No, shit, that stuff, I can stand here and dump a machine gun into you. You're wearing dragon skin, and after you get up and remember how to breathe, you're not going to have holes in you, unless you've been wearing it a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the moisture in the body causes the armor to delaminate. Yes.
I don't
Suddenly,
think it's really,
you're
delamination
a
is
great big
just the
hurry.
glue.
And you think you're all nice and safe, and they shoot you, and you go, good
Why
night.
am I dying?
Modern armor is a complete evolution of material. The wonderful film I saw, I call it, of a soldier by a Humvee in Iraq, and he takes a bullet right here. Blam! It's a 7.62 sniper round. We have the rifle. Goes down, gets back up, and proceeds to be the medic who treats the sniper when all the other guys going, "You shot our medic. Oh, your day is going bad." You know, no, the medic keeps you alive. medics don't buy drinks back in the, you know, they don't have to. And it's, see that building? Make it rubble. It's like, you know, hi, it's the modern army. I'm like, he's shooting at us, he's shooting at us. Fine, knock the building down. They captured him, and he was wounded, and the guy he shot saved his ass. That's what modern armor does. Any questions? Thank you. Oh.
So during the Dark Ages, armor was really expensive, but during the Roman times, every soldier had a lorica, segmentata. Where did all the loricas go?
Rusted.
They did.
No, they dissolved. They have found fragments of them in what were probably logistical stashes of one kind or another, and it may have also been scrapped from repair, because after 1,000 years you really can't tell the difference. And there are guys who just wore it till it was gone. I mean, yes, it's metal, but time eats everything.
Except the pyramids.
Have you seen the pyramids?
Not yet.
Okay, go look on Transformers. You'll see what it looks like. The pyramids. They ain't smooth no more, guy. People took the surface stones away. They used to be smooth. They took the surface stones.
Made it to build Cairo.